5, 4, 3, 2.
Boo, we're live.
Welcome to the very first episode of Millennial Mindset. I cannot believe it's 2020. Happy New Year's, everybody.
Happy New Year.
20 years ago, it was Y2K. Remember, everybody thought that it was going to be the end of the world. Everybody was running to the stores, running to Costco.
I was like 5 years old then.
I remember my parents were freaked out. They didn't, because like nobody knew what was going to happen. And I was young too, but I remember it had to do something with computers, about how like none of the computers, the calendar didn't roll over to 2000. It stopped at 1999. And when it struck midnight, I don't know. I mean, everything was just going to blow up? Like, I didn't understand that. But I remember everybody was just so freaked out. But guess what? Nothing happened. And 20 years later, here we are. And I think this decade is going to be the best decade yet. Not only for us, but I think just for so many people.
It's kind of like a fresh start for people, I feel like.
I think so. And
more so than past years, just because the new decade.
Yeah, and I think people are looking at it that way as well. People are looking at it as it's going to be a fresh slate, new beginnings. And so when you put that positive energy out into the universe, I think you're going to attract more good things into your life. Yeah. But anyway, so we started this podcast. We started we're starting tonight, but we came up with this idea a couple weeks ago. We're hanging out on a Friday night. We're having a couple drinks, and we came up with this idea because we always talk about random stuff. We always talk about bettering ourselves. We're always talking about the mindset. And then we just talk about, what normal millennials would talk about, normal guys would talk about. So Dalton and I came to the conclusion, hey, why don't we just come up with a podcast? And I have traits and attributes that I feel like I can help people. Dalton, I know he has traits and attributes where he can help a ton of people.
And I think that we're both super motivated individuals. So to get a perspective from two motivated individuals as millennials going through trying to be successful, I think that we have something to share.
Absolutely. And I kind of have that mentality of the more people you help and the more people you try to better, I think you're going to better yourself. Because I don't have all the answers. I know you don't have all the answers, so other people can help us and we can help out other people. So I think this platform of having a podcast, I think we can reach many people. And if we continue to try to help people, I think it's going to have a great success. And if not, no big deal, because we just like to hang out and talk about random things. And we're going to continue to do that and just have fun with it and see where it takes us. Yeah. And, it's not going to be perfect the first episode, but it's just like with anything else in life, the more you do it and the more practice you have and the more fun you have with it, the better off you're going to be. But anyways, let's get into how do we meet, Dalton? We met.
I think you already mentioned that at my great grandma Swana's house, which is me and Amanda's great grandma. And I mean, we met at Thanksgiving, Christmas, but that's, I think, when we really kind of started talking was when I was helping Grandma Swana move. And
that was 4 years ago?
Yeah.
3.5, 4 years ago.
And, that's when I first started getting into the law of attraction and success. And that's when I started reading books. And I mentioned I read Think and Grow Rich, and you read that too. And then you kind of talked to me about that, and that's when we kind of clicked in that regard. That
is true. And I love Think and Grow Rich, which is pretty funny because when I first read it, I didn't really think much of it. I read it really quick. I liked it. It wasn't one of my favorite books, but I found myself continuing to go back. So if anybody hasn't read Think and Grow Rich, or they're considering reading it, pick it up, order it online. I highly recommend it. It may change your life.
I would say Think and Grow Rich and Rich Dad Poor Dad. Those two books, because Rich Dad Poor Dad is more about the mindset of money and investing, and then Think and Grow Rich is more the success mindset, the mindset, the thoughts you need to think to be successful. And I think those two books pair really well to start you off on your career or path to success.
See, and that's one of the books I need to read too, because I love reading. I'll probably read, maybe a book a month. I know I always try to read at least maybe 20, 30 minutes a night. Sometimes it's tough depending on my schedule. But I always try to read, a couple pages a night. They say leaders are readers. But for those of you who don't know, Amanda, she's standing over here. She's my girlfriend, Dalton's cousin. We tried to get her on the first episode, but she chose not to. She chose to drink wine instead. We will be getting her on future episodes. We bought 4 mics. We have an awesome setup. They say, a lot of successful people take action right away. So I told Dalton, let's give it a month or two, and then we'll order the stuff online. And Dalton goes, what's a month or two going to do? So let's just order stuff right now. So we ended up going to the store. We bought 2 gift cards. We split it 50-50, ordered the stuff online, ended up being a week late because we ordered it during rush Christmas shipping time. But nonetheless, it's here. We wanted to shoot it over the weekend. I got sick, but here we are, and I'm super excited. I cannot wait just to see where this goes.
And that's something I like to live by, is the concept of ready, aim, fire, which means you don't have to be perfect to get started. You just have to be ready, learn what you can, get the knowledge to start, and then just jump in and get started, take massive action, and you're going to learn as you go. Through your failures, you're going to learn, and you fell forward. And
I love that too.
And that's what we're doing. We're not perfect. We're not claiming to be experts in anything, but you and me, we're continuing to learn every single day. And, we're taking action, and we're getting this message out there, and it's not going to be a perfect setup, but over time it's going to get better.
I could not have said that any better myself. I love that, because procrastination, I feel like, we'll do it tomorrow or we'll do it next week. And it just it doesn't take steam, right. And you lose that motivation. It goes nowhere. And I feel like way too many people, when they get a great idea, they don't take action. And a lot of these books that we read about successful entrepreneurs, successful business people, anytime you have success, they take action right away. Mm-hmm. They come up with a great idea, and then you figure it out as you go. You're not going to have that great success overnight. It's not possible. Mm-hmm. So you learn by trial and error. And that just goes to show you, for all our people watching this video, if you have an idea right now, or if there's something you want to do, it doesn't matter what it is. If you want to go to the gym, if you want to start running, if you want to start collecting baseball cards, it doesn't matter what it is. Take action. It doesn't even have to be massive action. I know a lot of people say massive action, but just take one step. And then from there, you learn, take another step, and who knows where it can lead. It could lead to so many different things, sometimes good, sometimes not so good, but at least when you take that step, at that point if it could be good or not so good. Just like the other day, you're telling me you met some girl at the gym. Right. How did that story happen?
Yeah, so, people who know me, they know that I'm not the most outgoing person out there. And
which is, hold on, let me cut you off, which is so funny, because when we talk, and we'll talk on the phone all the time, or you come over and we'll literally talk for hours. Mm-hmm. And then, there's people in your family who will be like, what, Dalton never talks? And I go, I never see that side of Dalton. But then it's because we have that relationship. It's almost like we're brothers, where if I didn't have that relationship, then I can see where they're coming from. So for Dalton to get on this podcast, I give him so much props, because this guy, he's a little introverted, good looking guy. He looks like the Hulk. Obviously has a sweatshirt and sweats on, but literally jacked. I haven't seen anybody much more ripped than this guy right here. But I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, and that's another thing I want to mention too, is that don't let the negative self-talk or the things that other people tell you stop you from doing something. If you have a message, and if you want to make an impact, go out and do it. All the limitations that you put on yourself are from what other people tell you, or the negative talk that's within yourself. And I could easily say, I'm too shy to go on a podcast, but I'm saying, fuck that. I'm taking action, and I want to make an impact in this world and whoever hears it. So I'm not going to let the negative self-talk from myself stop me from doing anything.
Absolutely. And I think everybody, we have that voice in our head. It's the ego. And I feel like that's our own worst enemy. And then when you add, outside forces on top of that, whether it be people in your family, people in society telling you can't, it's like self-sabotaging. Mm-hmm. So you just need to, quiet that the best way you can and just continue to move forward. And life's a journey. It's not easy for everybody. Everybody has different paths. And it goes back to what I said earlier, help people. Truly come from a place of giving and love and help, just be, come from a good place.
And one thing that really helps me too is, one thing that I want to mention too is I'm a man of faith and I am a Christian, and I always think, I believe in Jesus and I believe it's the truth. And imagine if Jesus came down and he told himself, oh, I'm too shy, and he let that get to him, and he look at the impact that Jesus made. Yeah. Look at what he did. He got in front of thousands of people and preached, and he saved the lives of humanity. Absolutely. Imagine if he let that negative self-talk get to him, he never would have sacrificed himself for the world. And that's one thing that I always remind myself is I'm not going to let anything stop me from making an impact or living my purpose. I don't care what it is. And a lot of times, shyness or whatever is just, it's all in your head. It's just you reflecting what other people are, you think that other people are thinking of you. And it's really all not true. It's all in your head. And, I've gotten a lot better as I've grown up and gotten older. And I know a lot of people who would have known me in high school and stuff. They never would have thought I would have been on a podcast or done a lot of the things that I've done, performed in front of hundreds of people. And,
performing?
Yeah.
What kind of performance, Dalton?
Yeah, dancing.
Oh, what kind of dance?
Pretty good dancer.
So for those of you that don't know, I was telling you Dalton has a great physique, and he is a male, I don't even know if I should say it.
Dancer.
Male dancer?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep it classy, but it's pretty much like
Magic Mike.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Magic Mike. Yeah. I always make fun of Dalton for it, even though I think he's doing a great job. But I call it like the minor leagues of Magic Mike, because Magic Mike's in Vegas, and Dalton travels all over the country and does these shows. And where's the farthest place you've been?
I would say Alaska.
How was that?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I've been to Alaska twice, and it's like they say, it's the last frontier. It's the most beautiful. Because I went in September when I went.
Yeah.
And that time of year, the trees, the color, like it's just so beautiful.
We were there the same year, right?
Yeah. You guys were like a weekend after.
Yeah, we were. I think we were towards the end of September.
Yeah.
Yeah, beginning of October. And I've always wanted to do. And Amanda's over here. She's like loving Alaska, but I've always wanted to do Alaska, and then we had the opportunity, and we ended up taking the Alaskan cruise, and I highly recommend the Alaskan cruise. It was insane, and I love like being outdoors. I love the mountains. I love the trees. I love the animals. And when we went, dude, it was insane. I want to go back. We saw Glacier Bay, which was awesome. We saw bald eagles. We went hiking, and funny story. So we get off on the cruise, and Amanda knows what's coming. She's over there laughing, but before we left, we go and she buys all this snow gear, thinking there's going to be tons of snow. And we got there right before, snow started falling to the ground. But she spends like several $100s. And I go, are you really going to wear that? I go, keep the tags on, because in case you don't wear it, you can bring it back. It's expensive stuff. And we live in Southern California, where it doesn't get like below like 60, 65 degrees. It's warm all year round. So we're on the cruise, and it was like freezing cold. It was like mid-20s, and gets done getting dressed, and she's wearing like this little like sweatshirt, like it's not even covering her shoulders, and she's wearing these jeans that are all ripped. And I go, you're nuts. I go, put on some snow gear. It's freezing cold. I'm over here wearing a shirt. I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt. I'm wearing a sweatshirt, a big jacket. I'm wearing sweats. I'm wearing like 2 socks. We get out, we start hiking up this mountain, and she's freezing her butt off. And I go, why did you wear any of your snow gear? Seriously, like you spent all this money. She's like, I just wanted to look good for pictures. Are you joking me? You wanted to look good you could have wore one of those big jackets and then just taken it off for pictures. And her dad was with us, and her dad got mad at me because he goes, "You let her come off the ship like that?" And I was like, "Trust me." I go, "Dan, you got to trust me on this one." He's like, "No, trust me. I raised her for several years. I know how Amanda is." So he ended up buying her a sweatshirt in the gift shop saying Alaska, and buying her, Amanda, why are you covering your mouth? Because you know it's true. But ends up buying her an Alaska sweatshirt in the gift shop, and then an Alaska beanie, and she still has it to this day. And it's such a waste of money because you could have just wore your snow gear.
I still have tags on my snow gear.
You never returned them? Wow.
That reminds me of all the like the Instagram models. They're like in the little bikini in the snow. It's like, come on, you're not gonna be wearing that in the snow.
What Instagram models are you looking at?
A lot of them. Every Instagram.
See, I'm not allowed to have that on my phone.
That's right. Even the guys. I see guys in like,
Whoa, guy Instagram models?
yeah, I mean all the fitness influencers are showing like flexing in the snow, and it's like freezing cold.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the point of that?
I don't know. Maybe it makes your skin tight because it's cold. It restricts the skin. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's good for photography.
Yeah, but when I was in Alaska, everyone there, they like bears are like, they're in everyone's backyards, in the stores, and I didn't see any bears both times I went.
Yeah, I didn't see any bears either.
I wanted to see one so bad.
Dude, they say those things are so mean. The grizzly
I
bear,
know.
what's the other one? The black bear?
Yeah, I mean those aren't that mean.
Well, what are the other ones?
The grizzly bear.
That's the mean one?
That's the mean.
I saw some video on YouTube, and it has like millions of hits. And this guy's fishing, and I want to say he's in Alaska. He may be somewhere else. This bear just pulls up literally right next to him, and he sits like a human. He's sitting there. And if I was that guy, I would be freaking out. Literally just saw that video a couple weeks ago. And I go, that guy has the biggest balls just to take out his camera when a huge bear is right next to you. Like that, if that bear was hungry or aggressive or irritated, those things could freaking claw you up.
Oh, one little swack of his claw and you're dead. I mean,
Jeez.
The kind of mass and strength they have is insane. I think I was watching Joe Rogan, and they were talking about how there was this video where a bear literally, I think it was like an elk or something, just swatted him and it broke the elk's back.
What?
Yeah, it's insane.
And there's a show, I don't know what channel it comes on. I forget where I saw it, but me and Amanda were flipping through channels, and it was like man versus bear or something like that, where they literally had a bear. They trained a bear to compete against these humans.
What?
And do certain stuffs like push a big log. And all of these people, they had like 2 women and 2 men
like
on
the
the
Olympics,
ship.
but
Yeah,
against bears?
Against bears, yeah. And none of the people, I go, this isn't even fair.
Are
A
these
freaking
trained
bear.
bears?
They're trained bears, or else they wouldn't be doing these things. But the people didn't even stand a chance. The bear was just like kicking their butt in literally every category. I go, how is this even a show though? Like, there's no competition. Like, it's a bear. How are you gonna compete a person against a bear?
What the heck? I know. It's like a person has no chance against was it a grizzly bear?
Yeah. That's like you going to the gym and you're trying to, do a bench press contest against a 5-year-old, literally. Like, it's gonna be no competition. Like, come on.
I know. What the hell?
It was a pretty funny show. I think it was like man versus bear. I know it was. It wasn't even on like a mainstream channel either. It was like some weird
Eating
channel.
contest.
Speaking of eating contests, have you seen like the hot dog eating contest? That's so crazy. I think it's on 4th of July. Dude, these guys eat like 70 hot dogs in like 10 minutes. It's insane. I can't even eat like 2 Costco hot dogs in like a minute.
I've always wondered, do they throw all that up, or do they actually digest it when they're just sitting there?
I don't know. I don't even know how they get that in their stomach.
I know.
And I know when they
train,
they eat foods with like high water content, to stretch their stomach lining out, I guess, to like make more room in their stomach.
But they're not fat, are they? They're like, none of them are like that fat.
I think the really good ones.
Huge.
Well, I know one of them, Matt Stoney. He has a YouTube channel too. Shout out to Matt Stoney. And he's really good. I love his YouTube channel.
He's good at eating food.
Yeah, pretty entertaining guy. But yeah, he's really skinny, and I don't know where he puts it because like if I ate as much as he did, I'd probably weigh 1,000 pounds. But
But
yeah,
it's like insane amount of cardio.
yeah, I know
all
he
he
works
does.
out though. He does say he works out,
Huh.
but maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just a fast metabolism.
I think it's crazy how like a lot of YouTubers will do like that 30,000 to $50,000 or 50,000 calorie challenge.
50,000 calorie challenge.
I think someone's done that. I know they do like 20,000. That's so crazy. Like I wonder how much. I wonder if they gain any. How much fat they gain off just doing that one challenge. Like you'll be seeing them. They'll just every hour they're just stuffing their face with like McDonald's and pizzas.
Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, it's like makes me sick just watching it. But they all do it.
I've seen a couple of those videos. It's insane. They'll go to like Popeyes and get like a dozen chicken sandwiches. They'll go to In-N-Out. They'll go to McDonald's. They'll go to Taco Bell. It's insane. I don't even know. Like back in college when I used to play baseball, I can eat like 2 double doubles and like animal style fries, but I feel like I was gonna explode. So I don't know how many calories do you think that is?
But what?
2 double doubles and animal style fries.
It's probably
2,000?
10,000.
10,000?
I mean, one double is like. Are you talking about In-N-Out?
In-N-Out, yeah.
Yeah, I used to have like 3 doubles.
3 double. How many
And
calories
fries.
would that be?
I didn't count calories in. That's like, I think one burger is like over 1,000 calories at least.
I don't know about.
But I mean, think about 2 burgers. That's like
Yeah.
most people's daily calorie limit, and you're eating that in one meal.
Yeah,
That's how a lot of Americans eat. Fast food is so calorie dense.
Yeah,
One meal is far beyond your daily calorie limit.
yeah, that is true. Because you can get like a double quarter pounder, and it'll be like 500, 600 calories, something like that. And it's really tiny. Like it doesn't even fill you up.
Like my calories I eat per day is around, I'd say 2,500 to 3,000. That's and I'm in good shape. Like I have muscle and stuff.
Yeah,
And I don't even eat that much.
yeah,
But I'm eating high quality foods too. So, you know, if you're eating stuffing yourself full of McDonald's, your body's not going to be able to build muscle tissue out of that.
yeah,
And it's going to be inflamed, and that's going to affect muscle or protein synthesis.
yeah. And we'll do one of our future episodes on what Dalton's daily routine is like, because it's crazy.
My supplements I have it dialed in right now.
On
So
point. And I've seen it firsthand. It's not like one of those things where Dalton just talks. No, I've seen, and then you see the proof too.
Yeah.
I mean, I went over to his house a couple weeks ago, and this guy's everybody's having pizza, everybody's having pasta, and over here, he smells it, and I'm like, "You're not tempted?" He's like, "No, not one bit." And he's over here eating sardines, making salad, eating non-GMO, grass-fed, no MSG, all this healthy stuff. So I give him credit, because I could not do that, especially during the holidays. You know how many people are on a strict diet, and then during the holidays, there essentially is no diet, because they're going to their work parties, they're going to Christmas parties, families parties, Friendsmas, Friendsgiving, so.
And I still indulge a little bit in that stuff, but it's very controlled. I have like one small little slice of pie or whatever,
Yeah.
But the rest of my day is pure, or I'll make up for it. I won't eat as many carbs that day because I'll have that pie.
Yeah.
I adjust for it.
Drinking water is important too, though.
Yeah.
Because
Like this.
there he is. I notice like when I don't drink the right amount of fluids or water in particular, because I don't like to drink sodas or pretty much anything else. I just like to drink water for the most part. But I notice if I don't drink enough water, I'm so tired throughout the day. And then you're just lackadaisical. You're not as clear-minded. You go to the gym, you feel weaker. So just drinking water is just so crucial just for everyday life.
And you want to drink high quality water because you can still be dehydrated even though if you're drinking tons of water. You can actually, by drinking too much water, you can dehydrate yourself because you're flushing out all hydration is the minerals and the electrolytes in your body. So if you're drinking too much water, you're flushing all that out. And if you're not drinking high quality water, like if you're drinking distilled water, that's going to flush you out because you want to be drinking like natural spring water, or like this is structured water. I have a structured water.
What the heck is structured water?
Structured water is, like the water that's from the earth. It has all the proper minerals, the right energy, all that like a water that you come pick up from a spring from the earth.
Huh.
Versus like by the time you pick that up from a spring, put it in a water bottle, whatever the processing they do, it's just like not very high quality water. And that's what we're expecting to rehydrate our cells and our whole bodies and our brains. And so I think high quality water is one of the keys.
High quality H2O.
Yeah.
It's from the Water Boy if you didn't pick that up.
I do.
So what about alkaline water? Is that good or is it just a hoax?
I think it's a hoax.
Really?
Yeah. Because
I love alkaline. Essential water. I love that water.
I mean, I don't even know if that stuff is actually alkaline by the time you actually drink it, because I think it loses its alkalinity. But if you drink too much alkaline water, it's going to make your body too alkaline, and it's going to have the same effects as being too acidic.
Interesting. So if you're just drinking normal spring water, that's sufficient enough.
That's the best bet. Yeah.
Consult your doctor though, because we're not professionals. We're just giving you our honest opinion.
Yeah,
so don't hold us to it.
I don't spend the extra money for alkaline water unless I have to. It's like the only quality water.
Yeah.
But I usually just stick with spring water, or if I have a good water filter and electrolytes, I'll do that if I can structure the water. You know, putting sea salt is really good too. It's kind of some like pink Himalayan salt or high quality sea salt. That's a good way to get those minerals in. That will really help hydrate you. I know one thing I want to mention is the other day I was at the gym. I was hitting legs. Like I was doing a heavy leg session. I was just drenched in sweat. And you know, I felt pretty good that day, but I was drenched in sweat. And then I went in the sauna for literally like 20, maybe over 20 minutes. And I was just completely drenched in sweat. And I didn't properly replenish my minerals. So that next day, I felt so sluggish and foggy headed. And even though I got proper amount of sleep, it felt like I didn't get any sleep. But it's because I was peeing a lot too, because I flushed all the minerals out. And when you sweat all your sodium out, all your minerals, and I didn't replenish it. So I felt like crap that day. And what was interesting, before I went to the gym, I had electrolytes, I had pink Himalayan salt, and I felt great. So I depleted myself of the minerals. So if you think you got like proper sleep, but you still feel like crap, I would look into, you know, trying to replenish those electrolytes.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Let's get into the sensory deprivation tank. You know, Joe Rogan, I love Joe Rogan's podcast.
Me too.
You know, as well as a ton of people.
And that was honestly an inspiration for us to start this podcast.
Shout out to Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
We love Joe Rogan. He's awesome. And his podcast is so entertaining. Some of the guests he has on is crazy.
Next week, he has Robert Downey Jr. on there.
Oh, really? That'll be a good one. I
Yeah.
have to check that out. But the sensory deprivation tank, I know Joe Rogan has one. You know, a ton of celebrities have them. So we wanted to try it out. You know, we wanted to test it for ourselves to see if you can get all the benefits from it. Because they say 1 hour in the tank is equivalent to 4 hours of, I think it's REM sleep, REM sleep.
Yeah.
So essentially what this tank is, it looks like a big pod. And it's
egg.
Yeah, a big egg. And you're in a room by yourself, and it's filled with water, and they put like 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt. It has like way more salt than the Dead Sea. So you go in there and it's impossible to drown. It's impossible to sink. You're just floating. And there's so many benefits of this. So we end up going on Groupon, and we found this place over in Costa Mesa, Float Easy. And it was unlimited floats for the first month, just to get your feet wet, literally, and just to try it out. And when I went and I meditate at least 5 times a week. So I have a lot of practice in meditation and quieting my mind and just focusing on the present moment, on the now. So I wanted to bump it up a notch and get in this tank, and you pretty much float for an hour. But let's rewind and talk about the whole process. So you go in and you check in with the front person or the person at the front counter, and you go in your own room. When you go in your own room, you lock the door and you have a shower. So they want you to take a shower before you get in the pod to take off all the dirt and take off all your body oils.
Anything that's in your hair.
Yeah. So you can go in the pod. You can either go in fully naked or you can just go in with swim trunks. Doesn't really matter.
How do you go in?
I go in with swim trunks.
I go in naked.
There you go. So it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. But you go in the pod and you get to choose if you want to have meditation music, if you want to have a guided meditation, if you just want to have nature sounds. There's several different selections. When you go in, there's LED lights. There's several lights, and you can control them. And you can also go in with no music whatsoever. And that's actually what they recommend. They recommend no music and no lights. But when I first went in, I obviously just wanted to get comfortable. It was a new experience. So I went in, I left the pod half open, and I left the light on, and I put some calming like meditation music. And I sat in there for like 5 minutes, and it's kind of weird floating at first. Yeah. Like my neck was pretty tight. Like you just got to like just learn just to let your neck go back. And then
just
it's
completely relax.
Yeah, completely relax. Because you're going to float either way. It's not like you're going to, your head's going to fully submerge. And I go, okay, I got the hang of this after like 5-10 minutes. So I closed the pod entirely, and I turned off the lights and turned off the music. And that hour honestly felt like it was a couple minutes. Like that first experience was insane. And like just to be in a place fully just in like the now, like it's super hard to explain unless you experience it for yourself, but there's something super beautiful about just being in that state. I don't know, at least that was my experience. I know Amanda, she lasted like 5-10 minutes in the pod because she didn't like the closeness of everything, and she didn't like how you couldn't really see anything. She just didn't like it, which I completely understand, because like if I didn't have, I feel like in my opinion, if I didn't have experience with meditation
right.
and calming my mind and just being in the present moment, I feel like I would have freaked out. And actually, I kind of did freak out my second time too. How was your first experience?
I really liked it, because I have the background. I meditate too, and I'm super into visualization. And so I went in, I was kind of nervous at first because I didn't know what the heck. I didn't think I saw a video of a float tank. All I did is hear about it. So I went in, I was kind of nervous. I didn't know what to do. And the guy showed me, like, I didn't know, like, if the door that you open to go in the pod, if it stays shut and like or can you manually open it? Or are you stuck in there?
Yeah.
So I was kind of nervous about that. But, I went in, I think I chose music at first, but I turned the music off, turned the lights off. And the first time seemed a little bit longer because I just had to get used to it. But I felt like I was in there for a long time. But after probably like 30 minutes, I really got into that really deep meditative state.
It's crazy. Like when you reach that state, it's insane.
And I was just the most relaxed that I've ever been in my entire life because all my senses were gone. I literally felt like I was floating in space.
That's how I was.
Like I felt like I was just consciousness in space. Like I felt like I was having like an out of body experience. It's crazy.
I don't know if I had that. I don't know if I had like an out of body experience, but like it is insane.
I mean, like I didn't feel my body. That's how I like it just.
And
I was able to visualize so detailed.
That's how I was.
More than ever before.
And it's like crazy too, because like when you get to that state, it's like you don't worry about anything else. Like you don't worry about daily stuff. You don't worry about the daily stresses. Oh, I got to pay these bills. I got to contact these clients. Like you literally forget about everything. And you're just one with yourself. And like as cheesy as that may be, because if you told me I was going to be meditating 10 years ago and I was going to be into, spirituality and being, in the present moment and visualization and all this stuff to better yourself, I would say you're crazy.
Yeah.
And I heard people, especially in baseball, visualize your success, visualize you making, good contact with baseball. So I heard it, but, it kind of just went in one ear and out the other. I just thought it was kind of just hocus pocus. But when you make it become, routine and like kind of like a daily habit and practice these things, it's crazy how it kind of calms you down. Even in like stressful situations, it makes you more like aware of your thoughts.
And the better you can visualize something, the more likely you're going to attract it to you. And again, we'll talk more about law of attraction stuff in a future podcast. Yeah. But just think about that, the power of that, the clear, like I was able to visualize so clearly more than ever before. I'm just going to attract more of what I want.
Crazy.
So much.
And I feel like a lot of people, why they don't like that and like they don't like meditation is because it's when you start to turn everything off, you start to think about, oh, what am I going to make for dinner? Or I still got to go to the gym. And it's like they can't quiet their minds down. Yeah. And when they can't control their mind, it kind of drives them crazy. And that's why I can't do this, you know, but it's just like going to the gym. You got to keep practicing. And the more you practice, just like this podcast, the more we do it, the better we're going to get, just like anything else in life. You know, the more you practice with meditation, and meditation can be as simple as sitting, you know, in a quiet place for a couple minutes and you just focus on your breath. You know, that's what I did in the sleep, in the sensory deprivation tank. You know, I was just lying there and I was just focusing on my breath. And it's that simple, but it's not simple, because when you first start, you start focusing and your mind starts to wander. But then that's where you go, and you start focusing on your breath again.
Yeah, and there's a really good book. It's called Stillness is a Key by Ryan Holiday. And I read a short version of it, but he talks about, you know, when you're mindful, when you're meditating, you become the observer of your thoughts. And it goes a lot deeper than that. You become the observer of the observer.
Yeah.
You know, it goes so much deeper, and the more you do it, the better and better you're going to get at that. And when you become the observer of the observer, that's when the real power comes from.
Yeah. I love meditation. I've been doing it probably 2 years, maybe even more. And I know, like I said, I do it at least 5 times a week. And over the holidays, you know, I'm not perfect. Over the holidays, it got a little hectic. And we were traveling. We went to Vegas for New Year's. We were all over the place. So it was a little tough to meditate. I'm glad we're kind of back on our schedule so I can meditate. But I notice when I don't do it, that I just feel off. It's like when you miss the gym. You know, if you don't go to the gym, you kind of feel off. So highly recommend meditation. You know, you can also just go and just walk in nature. Go walk around your neighborhood. You know, that's a form of meditation.
And for me, you know, sorry to cut you off.
That's all right.
But going to the gym and working out, that is a form of meditation for me, because when I'm in the gym lifting weights, I'm not thinking about anything else but my own body, being present, focusing on, you know, pushing the weight, lifting the weight, whatever I'm doing. I'm not worried. I'm not stressed about, if you are thinking about other things like that, it ruins your workout. You can't work out properly. So it is a great form of meditation, I think.
Yeah. And I think, you know, with working out, because I truly believe the better your body feels, the more optimal you're going to be in all areas of your life. You know, you're going to be at your peak performance. So your body needs to feel really good. Like when I was sick, you know, last week, I didn't want to do anything. And I felt like crap. So, you know, when you work on your body, you feel good. And when you do these daily habits of meditation or drinking water, having good nutrition, you feel good. You put yourself in a state where you're going to be at your peak performance. So I strongly believe that. But with working out, you know, if you have stress, or you have built up anxiety, built up stress, you know, I feel like when you go to the gym and you just like pump some iron and, you know, you get in there and do some cardio, I feel like it relieves a ton of that stress, just all that energy you put into working out, and it helps you out so much.
Yeah, it really does have a huge, powerful effect on your mind. You know, you don't realize it. Like I notice if I don't go to the gym for a few days, I feel a little foggy headed, a little tired. As soon as I go to the gym, do some cardio, I feel right back to where I was, clear headed, focused, motivated.
Well, it also gets the blood going too. You know, it starts circulating the blood.
And you get new blood into your brain as well. That's important. New oxygen, new blood cells.
Yeah. Well, this definitely went a lot longer than what I thought for our first episode. I honestly thought it was going to be, you know, maybe 5, 10, 20 minutes max, honestly. And we're approaching 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. Just over here saying, like, this is honestly, guys, this is what we do, like on Friday nights. We'll just sit here and I can go on for like another hour, but Dalton's computer is like tripping out right now. So I don't know if it's going to even record it, what we said. So we're going to have to probably cut this early, but we can probably talk for another hour, honestly, about so much random. We were just getting into it.
Yeah. And there's tons of more podcasts that are coming. We're planning on putting podcasts out every week. So consistently, you know, and we're planning on having guests, you know, successful people in, you know, different industries, different stories.
Absolutely.
We would just want to deliver content and valuable information to you guys.
Yeah, we just want to help out, you know, the best way we can. And hopefully this motivates people to, like I said earlier, if you're thinking about doing something, just do it. You know, when baseball didn't work out, you know, and I got into real estate, I just did it. I never bought and sold a home. I was 22 years old. I just did it, you know, and you learn as you go. And that's part of the fun, you know, I didn't think we're going to have as much fun as we're having right now. I'm having a freaking great time.
Me
This is
too.
awesome.
Yeah.
Having a great time. I can't wait for it. We might shoot another episode later this week. Honestly,
Yeah,
we might
yeah.
have 2 episodes this week. But that's part of the fun in life is you just continue to learn, you continue to grow. And when you're growing and you're learning, I think that brings success and happiness.
And we're learning as much as you guys are.
Yeah.
So when we have guests on, we're having them on for us. You know, we're learning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So take action, whatever it is. It's 2020. You know, make this a new decade because the years go by so fast. I mean, it was like I was saying, it was 20 years ago, it was Y2K, and here we are. So make the most out of it. Do whatever you want. It's your life. You know, do whatever you want to do. I don't care what it is. Just take action. Take that first step and learn as you go. We're going to try to do weekly podcast. I know Dalton travels quite a bit. So when he's in town and when I'm available, we're going to try to do these and upload new podcasts every single week. We're going to be talking about crazy stuff. We're going to be talking about business. We're going to be talking about life. We're going to be talking about faith. We're going to be talking about spirituality, relationships,
fitness, nutrition,
everything.
I'm a certified personal trainer, so I've been working out for since I was 10 years old. So I have a lot.
And if you guys want to see anything, put them in the comments. We're going to read the comments. We want to engage with our audience as much as possible. We want this to be, pretty much a two-way street.
Yeah.
We want you guys to engage with us. We want to engage with you and leave feedback. Say if my mic's, too close in front of me, move it back, because we're learning. We want to get as much feedback as possible because that's how you grow. That's how you learn.
Right.
If you guys want us to address anything, if you guys have any questions, put it in the comments. I think that's about it. Are you?
I would say subscribe, put those notifications on.
Oh yeah, I can't forget that.
Yeah, we got used to saying that.
Yeah, we gotta get used to saying that. But that's a wrap on the first episode.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
guys.
and we will see you on the next podcast. Take care.
All right.